Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. This fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
It's
Here
a
comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, KD back here, and welcome to another Philly Shakedown podcast on the eve of Washington's destruction. Joey Shakes, what is going on, man? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm enjoying myself on this Saturday night, and this is an important game tomorrow. Divisional game. Take the record books out, and we're gonna see what this team is made of tomorrow. And our first 1:00 game, one of 3 of the season, which is good. Get it out of the way.
3. Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy, right? Actual 10 o'clock. Well, for me, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
It's going to be crazy. What is going on, everybody? Dave Dust, John Jones is here. Logan, Joseph, Eagles Hall of Fame, Michael, Chris, Dwayne, Jaden, Daz, Danny, Freshie says, "You remember me? I don't know if I do. The name sounds vaguely familiar." MJ, Joe, Rico, what is going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm trying to catch up. James, Royce, Dre, Gavin, King of Kings, George. Thank you guys all so much for being here. I think tomorrow is a very interesting game because I'll just tell you, like, from a gut level, like, I feel like we're going to blow the hell out of this team, Pauls. But, like, my gut level, like, I feel like this is going to be, like, destruction for Washington. But the logical part of my brain, which is very small, so very Mark Holmes-ish, is like, no, it's got to be a close game. It's a division game, man. I kind of mixed feelings about it because I feel like we're going to destroy this team. But at the same time, how often do you blow out divisional opponents, you know?
Yeah, it's very rare, but Washington is dealing with a lot right now with a first-year quarterback in Sam Howell. Sam Howell's not looking great. I think giving him time in the pocket, I think he's very good. I think he can make every throw when there's no pressure, when he has time. But it's hard not to look at if the Bills can get 10 sacks and Sam Howell throwing 4 picks, and he's already got 19 sacks on Sam Howell already in 3 games, and he's slated to have like 107 sacks this year, which is the most from like 2006. I mean, it's kind of nuts. And the Eagles have to be prepared. And I think this is a team that has good offensive weapons. I think their defensive line is fantastic, and I think this game is definitely won in the trenches, no doubt.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you look at how he holds on the ball long. They're on the record sack pace, like we're saying. It's funny because last year against Washington, I think it was week 3, we had 9 sacks or something like that. And Haason Reddick had 0 sacks coming into that game. He ends up having a pretty big game, having 1.5. I think it's very likely, and you texted me about his cast. With his cast off, I think it's very possible that this is Haason Reddick game tomorrow, man. This is where Reddick arrives for the season and he goes off, because you would think with the way this kid holds the ball, the fact that he's a young quarterback, that you're going to have opportunities to sack him. You would think so.
Yeah, I mean, Haason Reddick, I feel like he had a splint, but I didn't know it was that much. Like, he's got no use of his right hand. Like, he has had no use. So when your thumb, at least if you had your middle finger, your index finger, if you had 2 of those fingers that were gone, that thumb makes a huge difference. But with your thumb being out in the same position and casted up, you literally have how can you grab? How can you play like you normally play? I mean, I think it's definitely hindered him. So I think Haason Reddick is going to get released. Is going to be unleashed on Sunday, and hopefully we see some numbers come out of it, and so I'm hoping.
Hopefully, King of Kings, David super chat. He goes 4-0, simple as that. Love you guys. We love you too.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I think it's that simple. Hopefully, I mean, the one thing that every team has tried to do so far is get rid of the ball in
Yeah.
like 2 seconds. Like get rid of the ball in 2 seconds. And he's had problems with that, but I'm sure they're going to stress it to him tomorrow how that is to go ahead and do that. Now, if Jonathan, to me, this is a test because if you want me to be on your bad side, like if you want to get on my bad side, rather, let a young quarterback go out and throw for 80% completion percentage. It's going to drive me nuts. I really want to see how Desai handles it differently than Gannon did, because Gannon would allow this kid, I believe it, he would allow this kid to come out and have a decent game. Matter of fact, I wonder what how did the first game versus Gannon. That I need to look that up, because these young quarterbacks always with Gannon had big days, which drove me up a wall.
Yeah.
And I would hate it. So I'm hoping, because if you look at what Buffalo did, Buffalo confused the hell out of Howell last week. And that comes from McDermott, who comes off the branch of Jim Johnson, which is what we have talked about,
But Philly, do the Bills play off coverage as much as the Eagles? I don't think they do.
No, but they also bring blitzes from different angles. Like how threw 4 interceptions because he didn't know what was happening. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it was a big part of it. I'm going to that game, by the way. I'm just curious because Washington won 20-16. They actually came back and won that game. And I'm
that was the 7-0 game. That was the Dallas Goedert. That was the face mask and the Quez fumble. That game you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the first game of the year this year. How was Jonathan Gannon's defense? Okay, I think that
they had 7 sacks. They had 7-8 sacks.
They had 7 sacks, but he also was 19-31. He also was 19-31 for 202 yards and a touchdown and an interception.
And Arizona dropped like 3-4 picks in that game too. Arizona dropped. Guys, definitely tell us, because I know in that game Arizona dropped like 3-4 picks that were catchable in that game. Should have been a win.
But Jonathan Gannon always allows these guys to look great. That's my point. Yeah. So I want to see Desai be different. I want Desai to be aggressive tomorrow. I want him to try to blitz, confuse him, do things that give him things he hasn't seen, make him think about, make him hold that ball longer. And then I think these guys have monster games. I think you're talking about 6-7 sacks tomorrow, man. I really do.
Yeah, I'd say more than 4 to 5, more than 4 or 5. I definitely can. Sam Howell, I know he last week. Like this is the first year of Sam Howell. He's got to deal with his adversity. It's going to happen, but he holds on to that ball too long. I think he needs he's one of those quarterbacks that needs a perfect pocket to really do anything. If they get a little bit of pressure on him, the way this defensive line's playing right now, and I think it's going to be more production. It's getting better every single week. The soft zone is a little. It gets a little too much at times. I think you can have an extra 4 to 5 sacks in games when you're not saying you got to play press every time, but as long as you're blitzing and you're up in their face being physical, I think you'll have a better chance. So
and listen, I thought Desai did a great job against the Buccaneers last week. I was really happy with the way he coached that game. So I don't know if I like Desai more because Gannon's not the coach and he's the guy that replaced Gannon or not. But I so far I've been okay with him, and I expect him to be I expect him to be a little more aggressive and handle a young quarterback a little differently than we've seen Gannon do in the past.
True.
Chris Scott, thank you for super chat. He says, guys, we need Buda Baker. He would complete our defense. Slay Bradbury, Brown, Blankenship, and Baker would be insane. Yeah, listen, it would be insane. I really think that we will see a move by the deadline. I would be shocked if we didn't. I would be shocked.
Like Buda Baker, everybody talks, but his contract is just way too much. It's like he's getting a base salary of $13 million, and his cap number is like $18 million this year. It's a lot. You're gonna have to extend him.
Yeah. Well, what about a guy like Jeremy Chin, who's in the last year of his contract?
Perfect.
He he may be the guy. Because
No.
even if they don't want to sign him long term, and you just want him for 1 year, he's not going to cost you much.
Oh, I think the Eagles need a hybrid player that could play safety and corner. I think that's one thing that we're kind of looking at right now. Hence, we'll get into the injuries with the Philadelphia Eagles with Sidney Brown, because I think Sidney Brown, they've moved him around a little bit. Even in the last game, they moved him around a little bit. And I think there's one guy that has quality steps from college to the NFL in the nickel spot and can play safety. I think they need to develop somebody to be that hybrid player, because when you don't have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson around, it makes a huge difference when Maddox gets hurt. And I felt like the Eagles have seen this from a mile away, because they had James Bradbury playing in the nickel in training camp. They knew, Maddox was already hurt with the toe injury. Now it's the pectoral that he's out for the rest of the season now. So they have to start cross-training a lot of guys, not just him, but I think a lot of guys, just in case.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Pizzalt, stay for super chat. He goes, thoughts on Dean coming back? Like how it looks now, to be honest. Well, Dean's eligible, after this game, right? Or no,
I think so.
The next game, I think. He's
this week or
games.
Next week.
So I think it's after next week's game. I thought Morrow played really good versus Tampa, but to me it wasn't so good that I would say you're now taking over for Dean. I still think we're a ways from that. I mean, if he has another couple good weeks, then it may be hard. But I think Dean will come back. I'm not giving up on Dean yet. I know a lot of people are down on him, and I hate that he was injured. And I did see, I didn't think he played good in pass protection and coverage. But, I still thought he made some plays, in the run game. And I just think he needs time to play,
I think that's what's been about all this entire roster. We can nitpick at certain players that haven't played well. I don't think a lot of players have played well, and that's due to the fact that these guys have not played each other around each other too much because of this offseason. I'm telling you right now, this offseason has hindered this team. With 2 new coordinators coming in, they barely had any time with this coordinator and really as players to gel together from the offseason into the season. I think literally the first 3 games, Philly, it may sound stupid, but it was like our preseason games. Like they had to earn back in some way, So crazy.
Yeah. Joe says, Philly and Joey, a hypothetical question. If Howie can only afford to sign or trade one player, what would you do? Extend DeAndre Swift now or trade for a safety or linebacker? Man.
So that means you're not signing Swift at all. Like you're saying, either they're not going to sign him.
Right. He's going to either play this year out and you get a safety or a linebacker, or you get to extend Swift. To me, I guess it would depend. It depends on the player, because I think I want to sign Swift. I don't want to lose him. I want to sign him.
You selfish.
I know I am, but I say this every year. I said this last year about Miles too. I just don't know that they'll sign a running back. I just don't know that they will go out and sign a running back. If it was like a Jeremy Chin, I would say, get the safety. That's what I would say.
Dude, I can't imagine, this isn't like a 29, 30-year-old back that you got this year that's productive. You're getting a 24-year-old back that has literally is second in rushing with 308, 308 yards for the year. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know how next game is going to go here, with the run attack, but he's not just a regular average running back. This guy is talented, man.
I mean,
let him walk.
People were like, "Why are you guys so happy?" Do you remember that day?
Yes.
You were flipped up. You were like, "Why are you guys so happy about DeAndre Swift?" I'm like, dude, the guy's a stud. He changes your whole offense.
If healthy.
Look at him, dude.
Healthy.
Yeah, if healthy. That's the whole key. But,
right.
I did a channel membership video. I said the Detroit Lions always throw away talent, or they let talent leave. Barry Sanders, he left early because he wasn't going to win anything. And then you have Megatron, he leaves and retires early. And then you have they've got Jamar Gibbs. I streamed that Thursday night game, Detroit game. Dude, they barely used Jamar Gibbs. He's averaging like 6 yards a carry.
Yes, you're right.
And they use Montgomery. It's like, I don't understand the way the Detroit Lions use these backs. And they did the same thing, in my opinion, with DeAndre Swift. For whatever reason, DeAndre Swift was in their shithouse, and they used running backs that were not as good. And I think the change of scenery, I've said this before, I think he's got top 5. I think he's got top 5 talent.
So what are you taking out of the running back core in general? Like, is Rashad Penny gonna get a snap this game? He's barely getting snaps when Scott's not even playing in a game. So what is the whole move behind? If they didn't want Swift, they would have got rid of him. Like, if they didn't want him and thought he didn't produce enough or didn't look great, why are they keeping Rashad Penny? Why are they keeping him?
Well, you got to remember, they brought Penny in before the Swift trade ever went down, right? Could you imagine right now if that Swift trade did not go down? we would. I mean, come on, because obviously they don't like Penny enough to say he should be out there getting snaps. They obviously don't. So if you didn't have Swift, I mean, we would be talking about we need a running back.
True.
I think you got one stud at running back. I think Penny must be. I don't know what it is, dude. I mean, we haven't seen. I don't feel like we've seen enough to judge Rashad Penny and say, well, he's stinking. Like, I haven't seen enough of him.
People are judging, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, off of 3 snaps. Like,
well, and I get
whatever.
it, because if he's so good, why is he only getting 3 snaps? So I get it, but I don't know. I mean, I think you got one stud running back in Swift. I think you got a really good, a rotational backup in Gainwell, a decent guy in Boston Scott, and then I don't know, man. I don't know, but it doesn't sound like Penny's going to be here long. It doesn't sound like it's going to work out.
Maybe he's more of a reserve guy. Maybe at this point when they're like, okay, we know how we know what DeAndre Swift could do. Maybe he's more of a, like, in case somebody gets hurt before the trade deadline, let's just keep him until the Eagles trade for a player, and then they'll be able to afford to let him go. I don't know. I mean, it could be a lot of different things. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't.
I don't either. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Big Chris says 4 sacks, 1 pick, the over under. So 4 sacks, 1 pick. Would you take the over or under? I would say over. I think the Eagles get at least 5 sacks.
They should.
And 2 picks.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Radiation Bots, thank you for super chat. He goes, we need a complete game tomorrow. Smitty and Reddick are going to feast. We need to get 10 sacks like we did against Woogie last year. Go Birds. I think Devontae Smith, for whatever reason, Devontae Smith has big games against Washington. If you like the way other teams have big games against, like, the Giants, he does pretty well against Washington. I think he's gonna have a big game tomorrow. I really do.
Yeah, well, they have Forbes and what's the other guy's name? I've had it.
They got Kendall Fuller.
Kendall Fuller.
Yeah.
So
he's pretty good, and then they got that safety's pretty good too. It's interesting with Washington because their defense, their secondary and their pass defense have been good, but they get killed in the run. They gave up 6 yards against Buffalo, 6 yards a carry versus Buffalo last week. Buffalo isn't known for their running game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's a really good matchup for the Eagles.
Just think, dude, like, when you think about this defensive line right now and going into this game, like, it's crazy. Jalen Carter, okay? Jalen Carter has 89 snaps, and he's already got 15 pressures this year. Aaron Donald, the top 10 DTs right now have way over 100 tackles right now, and he's doing more productive with less snaps, which is when are we going to see that game, like the Jalen Carter game, where he's going to have maybe 3-4 sacks at a game?
It's coming. You feel like I feel like him and Jordan Davis both. I feel like that big breakout game is coming. I really do. And, maybe with how and the way he holds on to the ball, tomorrow may be it. It may be it. Linda says, how are you going to be a big bird like the Eagles when you can't be a small bird like the Cardinals? Yeah, I guess that must be talking about Dallas.
Even Fletcher Cox is leading the league, and he's leading the league in quarterback hits. Right, it's Fletcher Cox is having he's 26. Like he's having a good year, dude. Like I didn't expect it.
I think having those other two guys and even Milton Williams too, where he doesn't have to have as many snaps, but he gets to put more into the snaps he does have. I think it's making a big difference to keeping him fresh.
Right.
But yeah, I think the Washington game is interesting. I really like, of course, the matchup of our defense, especially our defensive line versus their offensive line and their quarterback. I think that's where the real advantage in this game is, because they got some good weapons. I mean, McLaurin, Samuel, Dotson, they've got weapons. Robinson, running back, and then Gibson. They've got some guys that can catch the ball and make plays. But I think it's that line of scrimmage.
Protection is a problem.
Yeah, it is.
It's a problem.
And I was listening to some Washington fans, and they were talking about like whether the blame really is on the offensive line or if it's on the quarterback for holding the ball too long. So they're having problems. I think that's where the advantage is. If they give Hal time to throw, I mean, he's got weapons to throw to. McLaurin has killed Slay in the past, dude. He has killed
Curtis Samuel. I don't think Curtis Samuel. I don't know if he played in the game last year. Curtis Samuel's good too as a number. Jahan Dotson as well as another guy that's really good in the slot, and that's going to be probably going to be an advantage for them, because the nickel spot is going to be interesting. We'll go over obviously the injuries and stuff. I have it up, so but I think that's definitely going to be an advantage for them too.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. House, your boy doing King Dingbat. What's going on, House Nelson? Dave Dust says, wouldn't it be crazy if Dallas lost 3 in a row? You know why I picked Dallas? Dude, the only reason I picked Dallas tomorrow to win is because I don't think they win the week after. They got San Francisco. Like, if they lose tomorrow, they're losing to San Francisco. They're going to lose 3 in a row. It's hard for me to imagine them losing 3 in a row early. But, man, I would love it.
And I think, and be honest, they had to change a lot of their play calls this week because Ezekiel Elliott knows a lot of what the Cowboys do offensively. And I think they're going to feed him. I think the Patriots are going to feed Zeke like crazy. I think that's been the one thing the Cowboys have been missing since they have been struggling in the red zone. I think not having Zeke to really push the pile has really affected that team offensively. So
yeah. Now we have struggled one game in that red zone. They've struggled every game in the red zone. But I've never been such a big fan of Zeke Elliott as I am today. As we sit right here, I am a big fan. I want him to go out there tomorrow and run for 200 yards, dude. I do. If Dallas loses to New England and then they lose to the Niners, all hell will break loose. I mean, I'm already seeing pictures of Trey Lance show up on my feed. So another bad game for Dallas, it's over.
I mean, it's the offensive line's not staying healthy. I mean, not having Trayvon Diggs is taking a hit a little bit. Stephon Gilmore's didn't really play well even the last game. I think, between Curse and some of these other guys that are trying to fill that outside spot, I think they're still trying to figure it out. They went through one game trying to figure it out. They couldn't figure it out. I saw a lot of videos of Leighton Vander Esch was missing a lot of tackles. He wasn't wrapping up. He was taking bad angles. Thought the linebackers didn't play good last game for them. So they got a lot going on right now, but it's really how I saw the excuses from some of the Cowboy fans, maybe some of the content creators as well, that I don't want to hear about injuries. Okay. Injuries are just whatever it is. We missed week 2, we had 3 starters out. I mean, that's why we had missed 4 assignments. Yeah. 4. Yeah. Technically. Yeah.
I know. I know.
I get it.
It'll be interesting. Joe says, Philly, I look at Swift as one of the missing pieces that if he was here last year, we win it all. He is that good, in my opinion. Game changer that Sanders never became. Eagles have to resign him. You're not going to get an argument from me. I mean, I'm in total agreement. I would love to resign him. I can't wait till they use him in the in the passing game, because there's a whole element to this guy's game that we haven't even touched yet.
He's averaging 6.8 a carry, and he hasn't even, like you said, he hasn't even been they've tried to work the passing game. I think they're trying to get it going. They just haven't, because the running the football the past couple of weeks has been great. And if they're able to put, maybe Gainwell on the field and they want to move Swift as like a wide out or something and kind of mismatch him on guys, they did it in training camp. And I'm kind of waiting to see if they're actually going to do that, because even that pick that he threw to Devin White, which I think it was Zeke's fault, in the Tampa game, I think he had wide open space or wherever he was going to throw that ball. I think he would have just a check down to him. I mean, just the amount of space.
You
it's
see
crazy.
when like Tampa's blitzing, like, to me, that's the perfect time for the delay screen. Running the screen. I mean, you got 20, 30 yards of empty field there, and he's going to have to make one guy miss, maybe two. That's it. You got to use Swift. I agree, KO. I agree. You have to use Swift every day. He has to be an every down back. I just think he has to be on the field as much as possible.
Yeah, I think this week would be a great week for screen game with Swift, or forward screens, however they want to do them. Just because that defensive line is they're going to be very aggressive defensively. Jack Del Rio, I think, has given the Eagles enough bulletin board material this week, because everyone's getting, you already know where I'm going with this. Everybody, since this play has been around from 2000, I forgot what, 2005, 2006. I forgot what year that this play, because the Patriots have done the tush push, the brotherly shove, what we're trademarking it to be now. And, a lot of people, I hope they run that a million times in this game, and the Eagles are taking advantage of it. So,
Torteville says Belichick will give Zeke and Stevenson over 40 combined carries if the Cowboys can't stop the run. Oh, yeah. Well, the thing with Belichick is going to pick up on that right away, and he's going to definitely go that route. I agree with you there. Let me see here. Let me try to catch up to some of these. I saw a comment I wanted to. Dave says 500. Do you still want Bijan Robinson now that we see what Swift can do? Well, as soon as we drafted Jalen Carter, I didn't want Bijan Robinson. I mean, we talked about that draft. I mean, there were three guys that you had to end up with: Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, and Bijan Robinson. I don't know how Will Anderson is doing, to be honest with you. I know Bijan Robinson looks really good, though. Bijan Robinson looks great.
Rob. We know Philly. We told everybody. Okay, we weren't wrong about. But realistically, okay. Do you think teams actually passed on Carter, or do you think Seattle really didn't have interest? Do you think that the Bears really didn't have interest? Do you think like
no? I think the Bears. If Carter does not have all that stuff happen to him off the field at the combine and stuff, the Bears, in my opinion, never move out of that number 1 overall pick. They only moved out of that when they decided that he was off the board. I think there were quite a few teams that decided that they weren't going to draft him because of off the field stuff. Otherwise, I don't think he makes it past 1, dude. I think the Bears would have stayed at 1 and taken him. So and when he was off the board, that's why they traded 9.
Will Anderson's stats for the year: 13 tackles and a sack.
That's not bad. I mean, I don't know what the context of his play is, because I haven't watched any Houston games yet. But I mean, Jalen Carter is every play is disruptive. And it's not just Jalen. Jalen Carter is fantastic, but like Jordan Davis too, man. I look at those two defensive tackles and I think both those guys legitimately right now are Pro Bowlers. They're both Pro Bowlers.
Right. Yeah.
And they're going to be together for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scary, scary defensive tackle.
And it's making everybody else better. It's making that's why I feel like that's why we were always wishing that Carter was next to Jordan Davis. Now, was it that safety? They were next to each other on that play, or no? Were they next to each other? They were, weren't they? They put them both in for the first time.
I think I have to go back and check. I know that Davis basically got two guys and pushed them backwards and allowed Morrow to get through.
Right,
You know,
right, right.
I mean, dude, you're watching guys. They'd run it to White, Tampa, and you'd run him and be like, okay, he's gonna get 3-4 yards, and all of a sudden, look, he hit a wall, and there's big Jordan Davis over the
Grab
top.
it.
Like, oh my god, like he just starts running and just like boom. Jordan Davis just grabs around the neck and he just stops, and like his feet are still like moving in the air like this. You know what I mean? Like they're still moving in the air and he's not going on. And Davis is holding him.
I'm shocked
so
over. I'm still shocked over Jordan Davis pass rush this year. Like I felt like it maybe would have been there this year, but not at this caliber going into his second. I wouldn't have expected it against the run, definitely, but I didn't
really
expect
think
it.
you're going to get a breakout game where it's not just like Carter 3 sacks. I think you're going to get like Carter 3 sacks, Davis 2. Like I think they're both about to erupt. You know, pause. But I really think so.
Yeah.
Chris Kaufman, thank you for super chat, my man. He goes, Eagles open the game with a 65-yard play drive, running nothing but the sneak. Oh my god.
I would do it.
Just to piss people off. The amount of insanity, right, from that one play that was broadcast over the internet this week about, you know, you got to hurt Jalen Hurts and all this. It was insanity. Like, these people are nuts. You know, like I've never seen people lose it over one play.
It's crazy.
It really is. Yeah, I mean, Jordan Davis is a beast. Jalen Carter is a beast, and you know, I just think it's going to be really interesting watching these guys the rest of the season. I mean, I think when you look at, like, you know, who's been the most consistent players the first 3 weeks of the season, I mean, I think Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter are definitely up there. You know,
yeah,
they've just been awesome.
Yeah.
Torville says Jordan Davis is using his hands better this year and is playing with more anger, which is a good thing. He uses his hands a lot better. His pass rushing has gotten way better. Way better.
Here's one thing I talked about as well with the defensive line. I think that's, you know, Desai had some things to say about it, which is, you know, we saw Nolan Smith a little bit more last week as a defensive end. And I know Desai said some things the other day, like we need to get him more. You know, there's only so many snaps that can go around. Like, just think about it. Derek Barnett only has one QB hit in nine games. Literally, Nolan Smith had a QB hit in 6 snaps, dude. Like, they got to move Derek Barnett back in this depth chart.
Derek Barnett, not the greatest pass rusher in the history of pass rushing. Derek Barnett, the guy that's going to go off every year.
I'm just saying, dude. Like, they got to give Nolan Smith more. Like, he's a first-round pick. He has got to get snapped. He's got to move up the depth chart a spot in front of Derek Barnett or something. I don't know. They got to do something.
Well, he sent Mayfield in the next. I mean, he hit Mayfield so hard. He's got to get on the field more. Mm-hmm. I agree. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan says, fellas, I'm late, but I did read Ringo is going to safety this week. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have the injury report?
Yeah, I got it.
Kind of go over that, but that is interesting.
Yeah. So injury report was Sidney Brown is out for the game with a hamstring. Justin Evans is questionable with the neck, but I heard from Jeff McClain today that he thinks Justin Evans is going to it looks like he's going to get ruled out. So that you're down 2 safeties in this game. So Terrell Edmonds will most likely take the spot. And then obviously that leaves the whole thing at nickel right now, which I don't know what they're going to do. Other than that, Quez Watkins is out. So Zacchaeus is going to get another shot, which at this point, I think he could win if they get the wide receiver 3s involved this week on top of it. I think Quez could potentially lose his job. I mean,
I think he's already lost it. I mean, we haven't seen Quez at all preseason. He wasn't hurt preseason. Now we're at week 3, week 4, and he's still. I think it's still the same injury, right? So I don't. Quez is, to me at this point. I wouldn't even bring Quez back until it's 100%, because that thing's just going to keep lingering, you know.
Yeah. The rest of the injury report: Fletcher Cox with a knee, light practice. Devontae Smith with an illness, light practice. Britton Covey hamstring, full practice. Zach Cunningham full practice. Dickerson full practice. Cam Jurgens, full practice. Boston Scott concussion. Jurgens gonna have is gonna have to have a big game this week. He's been playing great, and it's a good defensive line, so it's a good test for him.
Very good line.
This week. So
yeah,
totally.
it's very good line. I mean, they got 4 first-round picks on that defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be good, but the interesting thing is you can run on them. So I think they're going to run on them again. No, it's going to be interesting. David Super Chat goes, Carter All Pro this year. At this point, he's already an All Pro. He's playing like one right now. Definitely think so.
I thought we were talking about before the season started that, does Jalen Carter have to get acclimated for a couple of games? Maybe it's going to take a little while because of the off season. And nope, it's been pretty productive since day one. pretty productive.
And what's so great about it though too is like, and I keep going back to the duo, but he has been absolutely fantastic. What are teams going to do? Start doubling them? What are they going to do? Because as soon as you do that, you're freeing up Jordan Davis. By having Jordan Davis and Carter both play at a high level, I think it takes your defense to another level. I really think it can. That's why people said, like, who do you think is one of the keys to the defense? I thought it was Jordan Davis because we knew Jalen Carter was going to be good. I'm not surprised that he was going to be good. Like, I knew he was going to be good. But to have Jordan Davis play on this level makes everybody else even better and more dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
I think the edge just needs to be a little bit more productive, and that's just me nitpicking right now because Josh Sweat has been – look, I understand I'm not just talking about sack numbers. I'm talking about pressures. Brandon Graham will get one, once in a while. Haason Reddick has, a couple pressures, not much, So I'm hoping with Haason Reddick now having a free hand, there'll be more production on that edge. And I think Hal's going to have a bad day. I think it's going to be to stop this pass rush, they're going to have to pass the ball real quick. They're not going to have time to throw to these receivers running routes. I understand we're talking about Slay. He's had trouble with me. I think we could talk about Slay having trouble with McPherson, but I think we have to talk about the way that Gannon did use Slay when you're sitting those guys back and you want him to react to a great receiver like Terry McLaurin that's running full speed at you, and you have to react to the break of his route. It's not giving Slay much of a chance when that happens. So,
right. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting. Now, let me ask you something. And I agree, Black Wolf. Eagles definitely need to be better in the red zone. They definitely do. There's no question about it. But if you think Washington is going to come out and employ the same strategy that they played last year when they played the Eagles, are they going to come out and try to control the clock? Are they going to try to be, running the ball the whole game on us? Or are they going to kind of go ahead and do something else? Or do you think that they go back to that kind of game plan versus the Eagles?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I think they really have to contain. I think on the edge they have to contain. Do they think the Eagles are going to run down their throats this week? I think this team could run on them. I think they could run on their defense. I think Washington's only between 21 to 23 against the run. I forgot where they're at, but it's not great. I don't think the Eagles are going to shy away from running down their throats at all. I think they're going to, do the same thing they have been doing. I think the passing game should increase, definitely get the running backs involved, hopefully. And I think screen game, slants, I think looking to the middle of the field, I think is going to be a big difference here. I think everyone's playing Jalen Hurts the same way. If you want to keep that underneath route open, that's perfectly fine. You got 2 number 1 receivers that can get those extra yards on top of it. So do you think this is more of an AJ game this week, a Devontae Smith game, or both?
I think this is a Devontae Smith game. I got a feeling Devontae Smith and Goddard. I kind of feel like in terms of the passing game, I still think that it's going to be run dominated. I think Swift's going to have another really big game because Washington allowed 6 yards of carry to Buffalo last week. So I got a feeling Devontae has a big game.
I think Hurts can run on them too this week. I think they're going to be overly aggressive. I think Hurts can get a couple really big runs in this game on top of the screen game. I think that when you have an over aggressive defensive line like that, you could take advantage of it at times, get the screen game going. As much as I like the screen game, but picking at the right time is where I have the problem. No tight end screens. Stop with the tight end. Don't even do a screen pass to Devontae Smith. Use Swift. Use what you have in those guys that have really good vision.
I think this is also. I think Swift's going to have a big play through the air this week too. Like I think this is a week where you can, at some point, running the ball as effectively as the Eagles are doing is going to open up the play action, and that play action they're going to be able to really take advantage of that, especially with those two receivers. This could be the week that it happens.
Yeah, I believe
if you look at Washington has struggled against the run. So this is another team that you wonder if the Eagles, if they just come out and just pound it down their face,
True that.
500 thoughts on Joey's DUI he got back. I thought it was a funny mugshot. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
You're not talking about me, are they?
Yeah. Ow. He said you had a DUI in 2008.
Never, ever.
Jones, he says, Washington has a new offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy from Kansas City. Absolutely. They do. And, they're trying to adjust to that as well. But if you look at, what the Eagles, how they beat the Eagles last year, and you look at the defensive line, because Washington's number one fear going into this game has to be getting rid of the ball quick, getting and making sure Howell's not taking punishment and not taking sacks. That they're worried about that line. I just wonder if Rivera will revert back to what worked for them last year.
Look, we know we know that Washington has been like one player away from doing well offensively, and I think the quarterback position is still a big weakness for this team. I mean, I don't care. Like if you need your quarterback to have a clean pocket every time just to get rid of the ball, and that's all he could do, then there's a problem. If he can't make any plays on pressure, it's a problem. And I think that's been the biggest problem. And I think he gets into his own head. That's what happens when you start for the first year of your career. You're going to go through a game like this, and it was an ugly game. And I'm not going to say that this is going to happen this game or it's going to be a blowout or anything like that. I'm not taking this team lightly because, we always say that every time a team loses, they come into Philly after the Philly does win a game, they're going to be pissed. They're going to come in pissed off. But the way the Eagles are playing right now, it's really tough for me to say, that they're going to lose this game. Becoming 4-0 and getting your first divisional win is definitely big for this team. We're really trying to stack these wins till we get to that Miami game to see the second half of this season where the schedule is going to get a lot harder. But you got to win your divisional games, and I think they can rattle. I think they can rattle Sam Howell. I think they can get him in his own head, and I think he'll start throwing off his back foot. And I think you could have a couple picks in this game. I think you can have 5 to more sacks in this game. So it really depends on that quarterback. Really, it's really down to the quarterback.
So we got over 700 people between both channels. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new, hit that like. Make sure you subscribe. If you're on my channel, click the link. Go sub up. My man Joey Shakes. Joshua Grider, thank you for the super chat. He goes, it's nice being able to talk about which one of our wide receivers will have a bigger game. I remember the days of having no good wide receivers not long ago. 34-13. I know, right? Remember those days? Where every week it was like, hey, Philly, Nelson Aguilar is about to break out any moment. Any moment it's going to happen.
People are still picky. People are picky if both receivers don't, or if one of the receivers doesn't have a good game. People are picky about it. But you have to. It's going to happen every single week. Last year against Detroit, Devontae Smith didn't have a catch. We know that he has talent.
He only had 28 yards last week. He only had 4 catches, 28 yards. But he didn't need to. It's hard to have both those guys have 7 catches, 100 yards every week. It just is. It's not going to happen that way. Now, Washington has that Forbes kid, right? Now, wasn't he talking shit about Devontae Smith and how he wants to shut Devontae Smith down?
He's going to be on Devontae Smith. He's too small to play against A.J. Brown. Way too small.
Fuller's going to be on what's his face?
Yeah.
I think Devontae Smith's going to school the rookie. I think.
I can't fucking wait.
I hope this is. I predicted Devontae Smith will have a 200-yard game this year. I hope this is it.
Right.
Shizzo Denver Super Chat goes, I watched that film from last week's game, and Hurts left a ton of plays. He forced it to AJ a lot when Smith and Goddard had one-on-ones. Carter is our best player. Carter's amazing. Yeah, listen, I don't even think Jalen Hurts would disagree that he's left plays on the field.
Oh yeah.
You know, he hasn't really got hot yet. You know, but I think they're getting better every week. Like, I look at it like, all right, week 1, we saw where they were. Then week 2 was a little better. I thought week 3, for the most part, between the 20s, was really good. Got to cut down on the mistakes. And, you know, we'll see. You know, somebody said something in my chat the other day. They said that they don't think Gannon would have allowed the Eagles to get a safety on that play versus Tampa. That play that we got to safety, there's no way that happens with Gannon. I think I agree with them.
He would he would have pushed everybody back, and they would have had an easy run. Like, that's because, just think about it. If they're down at the goal line coming the other way, Gannon's going to be like, let's just have them get as many little plays as possible going upfield to waste as much time. We know it, dude. We know it. It wouldn't have happened that way.
Gannon is not a friend of the offense, dude.
Right.
He's just not. He always puts extra pressure on an offense. Franco Davis Super Chat. He goes, Eagles going undefeated this season, calling it. Man, if the Eagles go undefeated, oh man, dude, if Eagles go undefeated, I will not only will get you any current Eagle jersey you want, I'll get you
tickets to the Super Bowl.
Anybody? No, I ain't getting to the Super Bowl. If I get to the Super Bowl, I'm going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that would make sense. Well, yeah, look, I'm saying this, like, I hate being undefeated. Like, right now we're undefeated, but it's early, so I don't care too much. Like, I care, but, you know, the pressure isn't on. If they get to like 6-7-0, then, you know, the pressure's on. And I felt like that was the problem last year. We had that bad game against Washington, and I felt like that was a nice reset. Like, you have to reset yourselves. I feel like there was way too much pressure on a team when you haven't lost a game. Sometimes you need that, like, you need that loss. You need losses to build the character of your team. You need these going through adversity through some of these games, which we have been going through the past few weeks. Even though last week was the more complete game, not fully complete, but it was the better game of what we've played in the past, the last couple of weeks, weeks 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we haven't played our best football yet.
No.
Phil, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, I don't know why they don't put Sidney in the slot and keep Bradbury outside. Let Sidney stay on the field plus third and short. Off coverage, that's Gannon shit. I agree. The third and short, and then you got your corners off, like that drives me up a wall, and I don't get it. I just don't understand it. It makes it so easy, especially when you know the quarterbacks are trying to get rid of the ball in like 2 seconds. Now you watched the game on Amazon Prime, right? You watched the Thursday games on Amazon.
Yeah, right.
Okay, they have. Did you see this whole other channel that they have? It's like Generation Stat Channel. Have you seen it? It's like it's awesome, dude. So like you're watching the Amazon game, and you can go to another channel that's showing the same. It's the same game, but instead, like, they'll have some different camera angles at times. But they also show things like instead of the like when everybody lines up, it'll have the player's name above them. It'll have the like. It'll mark where each receiver ran, where their route was that they ran. It'll follow it. It'll tell them how fast the guy's running while they're running on a play or something. It's friggin' awesome, dude. I'm like, why can't Madden take this stuff and put it in their game instead of having all that crap? But man, check it out the next time they have Thursday.
Yeah, I never did that.
It was awesome. It was awesome. People told me, I didn't know about it, and I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. You know, but yeah, Sidney Brown's hurt now, so that's the problem with that. But I mean, he made a great play. Let's face it, he made a great play. He saved a touchdown. You know,
true.
I see, and that's the other thing. Like, I don't understand why you're not just playing him. Okay, yeah, maybe that he's young and there's liability at times, but he's definitely more talented than the other guys. And to me, you might as well get as many reps early in the season while you can, so that by later in the year he's more ready to go. Otherwise, you got to go out and get a safety, a bridge safety.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. Yeah, they're gonna have to get one soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Shizzle David Super Chat. He goes, I've been watching the Eagles since I was 1. I'm 25 now. I've watched a ton of film on brown and white. Carter is the most dominant rookie I've ever seen. He's up there. I mean, he's up there. I just want to know, how do you remember when you were 1? I can't remember any football game when I was 1.
You talked to
5.
You talked to Sills recently about Carter at all, or no?
Cilio?
Yeah.
I was sending him super chats the other day. I think he was kind of like half ignoring me because I was like, Dallas stinks. Dallas sucks. He's like, yeah, Dallas sucks, you know. But no, I mean, he's been really, he thinks, from what I've heard, he thinks Jalen Carter is an absolute monster. And he's gone back now and admitted that Jordan Davis is really good, because he said Jordan Davis was not, going to be that good. He would be good in a run game, but he wouldn't be what he is. He wouldn't be playing on third downs. But I think he was. What the hell?
This guy wants
Dex,
attention. Man.
Dex, I don't know what you're doing. Stop putting your finger in your belly button and sniffing it, please. I want to puke now. It's like, I don't know what's gross for that thought or
So what's the plan? So what's the plan at nickel this week then? I know they brought up that practice squad corner this week. So
I don't think they can use Bradbury. I think they're not going to do that again, right?
No.
I mean, they kind of got away from that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know what they're going to do. I guess they said if Evans can go, will they put him in the slot? That's what I think they would want to do. I don't know what they'll do if he can't go, though. It's going to be interesting. Goodrich was a healthy scratch last week. Could they use Goodrich? Will they play him? Who did they bring up? Do you have the list of the guys they brought up from the practice?
It was just they brought up the punter. Obviously, the punter is going to be brought up the next couple of weeks to be on the active roster. Britton Covey. They brought up that Tyler. I forgot his name. That practice squad corner. I'm trying to look for it. He actually got on the team. Then they let him go, and then they brought him back. McCollum. Yeah. And then, like Britton Covey, he's top 2 right now as a punt returner. He's averaging 18.3 yards a punt return, and he has like 100. I think he has like 115 yards. That's what I read. I don't know.
I know, it's the most bizarre thing. I was reading the same thing, and they're like, yards per average last 13 games. Covey first. This, that, everything's like he's like number 1 or 2. I'm like, what have we been watching for like the whole last year? I mean, is it crazy or what?
I know.
We need to give that guy more respect.
He was in the locker room, and he was like, I don't care if people like he was really, he knows fans are talking a lot of crap about him. He knows, and I think he's using that as motivation going into the rest of these games, and he says, how Philly says we don't like us, you don't like us, we don't care. It's like, I don't like you guys, and I don't care.
That's
or you don't like me, and I don't care, whatever, so
I'm content with that. Famu, thank you, and welcome to Dingbat Nation, buddy. Welcome to Dingbat Nation. I'm just shocked at this guy has put up those numbers. It's really surprising, and I feel like I'm not gonna be nervous this week when he returns punts. I'm not gonna say, oh, here comes Crash Test Covey. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna say, all right, the guy's fine. I mean, he had a great game versus Tampa.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, Covey is averaging 1,000 yards per game according to Ruben Frank. 1,000 yards per game. I'll tell you this though, I really like the idea. And is Devin Allen? Was he put back on the practice squad? Is he still on the active roster?
I haven't heard him. I haven't seen his name pop up at all. So does that mean he's does that mean he's back to the practice squad, or is he still in the practice squad right now?
I don't think they designated him back to the practice squad. I think he's been up all week.
Boston Scott. Well, I think. Well, who does the kick returns? Boston Scott and Quez. Yeah, but Quez does kick returns too. Who's next to Boston Scott on kick returns? Quez, because it's always been Quez. So maybe he's still going to be there.
Yeah, Quez. In preseason, they put Penny out there. But I mean, I think Devin Allen has to stay out there on the team.
Yes.
Eventually, he's going to get an opportunity, and he's going to break it. It's going to happen. You know?
RPF.
Yeah. What? RPF's here?
Yeah, two up.
Oh, hold on. I'll rethink. Joe says, Philly Joey reporting on our favorite college team, the Georgia Bulldogs. Future Eagle wide receiver tight end Brock Bowers is the perfect slot receiver. If you guys have not heard of him, check him out. I have to check him out. I haven't watched Georgia this year yet.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I did see that the Eagles scouting department is at the Alabama game today. So, you know, Alabama on offense, Georgia on defense. So we'll see. I think it's funny. I think every team's going to start copying them. I swear. You're going to start seeing all these players start to go from these teams that should not be going early. And then it's going to be Howie's going to sit there and take advantage of it and get guys that should never have fallen because everybody's going to copy what he's doing. Mm-hmm. There he is, RPF in the house, the legend. Hey, 500 and Joey, crazy RPF AK sleeping in the house. I want revenge tomorrow. Beat the hell out of Washington Hogettes. It's always cool beating the DC morons fans. Yeah, those 1991 Redskins 0 Super Bowl since 91. Yeah, and they're not getting anytime soon. I agree with you. We should trade for Devontae Adams. I don't think we need to. I definitely don't think we need to. I think the area is a safety. I think that's where you're going to have to go with it. I mean, I guess linebacker, but do you really think the Eagles will do the right thing at linebacker? That's the whole question. I don't know that I do.
I don't think they touch that position this year unless they get like unless Nakobe Dean comes back and they lose two guys. Like that's the only way I could think they go after that position again.
Right. But I do think a safety is in play. I truly do. You know. Let's see. David says, I was watching Georgia today as well. Wide receiver Ladd McConkey looks like a good slot receiver. Safety Javon Bullard looks like the future Eagle. It's going to be interesting.
I think this is definitely like I think for the wide receiver threes is definitely going to be we're going to see what these guys could do. I mean, if they can get a better talent at wide receiver 3 going to next year, I'm not saying as a top pick, but somebody that's more productive than what we have right now could be realistic, I guess. I mean, because they're not re-signing Quez. I mean, maybe they could take advantage of Quez. I mean, Quez playing bad or not barely playing at all, his contract won't be much. So I don't know what happens. That spot definitely needs to produce, but we don't know. Like Zacchaeus has, when given the opportunity, because we just started throwing to the wide receiver threes last week. You know, he threw the Zacchaeus 3 times. That one in the end zone, that was I think that was a bad pass. I think it should have been high. I think he had separation back there.
Hit him in the helmet.
Yeah,
hit him right in the helmet. I think you gotta catch it. You know, it hit you in the helmet, unless it's deflected and somehow. But it doesn't matter. I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was better. He's given us more in that game than Quez has given us. Second half of last year
since early? Yeah, really, yeah.
You know, I think a receiver is also potential where I could see them making a move for, like a Hunter Renfrow or somebody. It wouldn't be somebody crazy expensive, but somebody that could be effective. I could totally see them doing that if need be. You know, I do. But I really think I think they're going to make. I think there's going to be a major move for safety. I truly think it'll happen. Who? I don't know. But I think it'll happen. Phil Davis super chat. He goes, "Let's talk more about aliens and less about."
No, don't give him the idea. Just don't.
Oh man, I was telling Joey about something that I can't talk about on here. That's going down October 4th. Just look in the sky for the motherships. That's all I'll say.
Look at the sky.
Fuzz David Super Chat. He goes, "Hey guys, loving the show. Haason Reddick is playing without the cast this week. Hopefully, will make a big difference. Pound Cowboys still stink. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I think Reddick it's a get right game for Reddick. I think this could be a breakout game for Jalen Carter. I would love Carter to have like 4 sacks.
Yeah.
I really would. But part of me wants him to have like 4 or 5 sacks versus Dallas. Like I can't wait to play down and destroy them. Because they all said Mozzie Smith was going to be better than Mozzie Smith was going to be better than Jordan Davis. Then Mozzie Smith is better than Jalen Carter. And he hasn't done anything.
1 tackle? What does he have? 1 tackle for the year?
Yeah, like 1 assist tackle all year or something. Phil Milligan, David Super Chat goes, let's talk more about aliens, less Eagles. Oh, I think I read that.
No, you just want to read it again.
I totally did. Fred Flores, David Super Chat goes, yo, boys, what's good? 500 shakes, much love. Been busy, but let's shoot down some commanders tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I totally agree. What a stupid, I still hate their name. I absolutely hate their name. I absolutely hate their logo. Because I'm doing the thumbnail for the game, and I'm looking and I'm going, what a stupid logo. No, I'm serious. Like, when you do your thumbnails for the game and stuff, you see all these pictures. Well, there's all this fan-made art of different names for potentially for Washington could have had, even logos for the Commanders that look 90 times better than what they've got. What they look like, to me, is like a Canadian Football League. Like the Canadian Football League is in the NFC East. It's crazy.
Yeah, they had a huge petition to change it back to the Redskins, and a lot of people signed, like thousands of people signed it, and then the owner said that they're not changing it to that.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of people that tell other people what they should be offended by and what they shouldn't be offended by. I'm not going to get into all of it, but it just seems to me like the people who say that certain people should be offended about something, those people don't seem to be from everything you see. So I don't know.
It's actually it's a good thing. It's the original logo was a great thing. It wasn't a bad thing at all.
It was awesome, dude. That was a badass. I mean, I hate Washington, but man, I thought that looked. I thought it was like awesome. Like, you could name like I would like as an Italian, I would love it if they they named the team after us. We'll call the Grease Balls, the Philadelphia Grease Balls. Hey, alone,
the Stugats.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's the Tony Sopranos. I don't care what he calls. Just don't call us Fredo. Everything but Fredo. Fredo's bad. But no, it's seriously like, I just think that the logo that they have and the name change, forget whether you think they should have changed the name. I don't care about that. But what they upgraded to or what they changed to is just not, it just doesn't seem good.
You've had Washington greats that wear that logo. So what do? So it's like, then you shouldn't show it on TV. Then if you feel like that logo is offensive, then why even? I don't know. It's stupid. It's dumb.
Yeah, exactly. But K. Ross said, you're right, Philly. There are things they changed that I wasn't offended by, but they say we are. Yeah, they say that people they like to tell people what they should be offended by and what they shouldn't be offended by. I don't know. And I'm not even trying to get in the argument of whether they should keep the logo or not. I don't care about that. All I'm saying is that the current logo that they went to is not good. It doesn't even look like a professional team, like NFL team to me. I swear, I seen like making the thumbnail. I see different like logos for Commanders. That
it looks like an looks like an XFL. Cool. It looks like an XFL like logo, or like it looks like a name for an or what's Canadian it called? That
League.
Yeah, Canadian football.
Yeah,
whatever. It's dumb.
Yeah, I just like, if you're going to upgrade and go from something that was, won multiple Super Bowls and was recognizable, you can't come back and have a W on the.
Then you got to buy. Then you have to buy new merch, and you have to buy brand new merch. All the merch you collected from the old logo. Now I'm not saying you can't wear it, but it's just I don't know. Like how can you buy Commander stuff now when they're going to change the name and change the logo?
They're going to change it again. Yeah,
they're going to change it again. So it's like wasting money. Everybody's wasting money right now. Like everybody is. Stupid.
I just, it's just crazy to me. Like,
so question for you, like, what do you think they will change the white on whites for the future? And do you think there will be a logo change for this team down the line? Do you think more changes are coming besides bringing Kelly Green?
I'm going to show you something. Hold on.
Boy.
I'm going to show you something. I'm going to answer that question right now.
Uh-oh. Everybody close your eyes.
Somebody sent this to me, and I don't know if it could, what'll happen, but this is what I think is coming. Okay. Are you ready?
God damn. That's nice. That's really nice.
That
looks
is coming.
So good.
It looks so much better, right?
Yes.
Yes. I believe this is our future white.
What about the helmet?
I think it'll be Kelly Green. Although I would like to go white helmet on the road.
That'd be sick.
I would like white helmet on the road, like the old days, and then green helmets at home, and then the black helmets be your alternate.
We'll wait another 16, 17 years for that one.
I think something like that. I think something's coming.
I miss the black though. I'd rather have the black than the white on white.
I think we'll get the black one time. I think because they could have done it 3 times. They only did it once. They only did it twice. The Kelly Green.
I'm just saying just the black jerseys. I'm not even saying the black helmets. I didn't really care for it. Like it didn't really see a difference to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would like to see the black with Kelly Green numbers. Like we've seen that jersey with Hurts. You know, like there's so much they could do. But I do think. I mean, I stand by what I said. I think we're getting a full giant recycle of the jerseys this offseason. I don't think they've told anybody. Wayne, and you just go because of the watermark change and everything. Wayne, David Super Chat goes, I'm seeing double-digit sacks for our defense, including a touchdown. The offense goes off with at least 5 touchdowns, 2 via the brotherly shove. I'll take it.
Do it.
I'll take it, you know. But yeah, I mean, it'd be crazy, you know. Let's see here. Reddick 4 sacks tomorrow. Yeah, that's awesome. I would love that. Let's see. Albert says, poor Joey, God bless you for making it through these. I know, especially with me. It's not easy. Joe says, I'm not only speaking for myself. They will always be the Redskins honoring the American Indian, very weak-minded or offended, not American Indian, typical leftist offended for someone else. I'm probably going to check your monetization a little bit. That will probably do it. Joshua Grider, David Super Chat. Of course, Joey likes some. Oh God, dude, David Super Chat. I'm not reading that. They're coming out. They're coming at us, man. No, it's gonna be. It's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think you definitely need to change the white jerseys. I think that they're just old, man. I don't like it. The white with the black pants wasn't bad.
That wasn't bad, right?
But the white on the white's just like
too much white.
Chip Dip Kelly ruined it for me. When we had to go was 10 weeks.
Oh yeah,
white, that ruined it for me.
I remember that.
Yeah. Silly, are you serious? No, I actually agree with you. I 100% agree with you. But yeah, I get dinged for things like that because of stuff that I look up. I don't think I'm kind of just joking. I don't think they'll do that. Empire says white is terrible. Well, you have to have a white for the road. Everybody has white. You have to have white. You might as well make it look better, you know?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I like that.
Yeah, I do too. You have to have you have to have white. And what sucks is, imagine if you're the Cowboys. Like, you ever notice the Cowboys wear the white all the time. They barely ever wear their blue ones, their blue jerseys. They always wear their white, and
Yeah, it's
I
true.
think it's ugly. Yeah, they wear their road jerseys at home all the time. Hosea Jones, David Super Chat goes, NFL needs to ban Sims for disrespectful comments. Oh my God, those comments were so ridiculous.
And then he'll play the victim when he gets attacked just enough. He'll play the victim again and say, "Oh, I meant to say this." Like you're figuring out. Even Cowboy fans on Twitter are like, "Oh, this is how you stop it." Like, like guaranteeing injury. You have to hit him right. Like, they're actually telling teams to like hit Hurts in a specific spot, take him out of the game, go head hunting. Like,
right.
You can't stop it. It's too fast. You just can't. You can't defend it, because really what makes the play work is obviously your personnel in the offensive line, those guys getting low. Whoever jumps over the pile, it doesn't matter. Anybody that jumps over the pile is not going to stop that play. And Jalen Hurts could squat 500-600 pounds. That's, you know what I mean? That's I saw a couple games in college today. They tried doing it, but they have like the push guys are like 5 yards back, way too far away. And by the time the quarterback gets to the pile, these guys can't even move. And then as soon as those backs come, then they can move the pile. It's kind of crazy how different teams do it a little differently. They have guys lined up, but
yeah. Dan says, white on white looks so generic. I agree. I agree. Fade 2 Gaming, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, I agree with Joey. I hope tomorrow, to piss off Jack Del Rio, I hope they run the brotherly shove on every 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. Yeah, I'm with you guys. The more that it annoys people and triggers them, the more I want to do it. You know what I mean?
True.
Dave Does says, we never talk about Josh Sweat. He never gives up on plays and had the best season last year with 11 sacks. Yeah, listen, I think Josh Sweat, I think, I think it's a matter of, we just think he's that good. Like, it just shows you he's arrived. We kind of expect him to play at a high level, and he seems to. I think Josh Sweat is having another great year. There's no doubt about it. Josh Sweat is a stud. He is.
He is.
So what is your score prediction for tomorrow?
I think the score will be, I would say, because I don't want to seem like I'm too cocky or anything, but I think it'll be 24-35.
Okay, that's not that's a lot of points.
I think the Eagles could do it.
Over.
Yeah.
Well, I have 31-14. I believe.
Okay.
I said, 31-14. Did I say 31? Yeah. No, I said 27-14. I'm trying to remember what I said yesterday. 27-14. That's what I think. I think 27-14 Eagles. I think we both have them winning by double digits, though. I think it'll be a typical NFC East game, especially early. But I think the inexperience of how, and I think the fact that he's going to be holding the ball, I think the advantage on the Eagles' defensive front is going to be too great for Washington to overcome. That's what I kind of think.
What do you think? What do you think about Reed Blankenship this year so far, even coming back?
I like him. I like what I said. I mean, I thought he made a big difference coming back in that Tampa game. He was definitely missed versus Minnesota. So having him back and he gets an interception, I'm okay with the way he plays. It's that other safety position that I'm worried about.
True.
So it's going to be interesting. Here's another question I'll ask you. Who do you think the MVP for tomorrow on both offense and defense will be? A great question.
Well, I think because if we score a lot of points, I think Hurts will be the top player. But it's hard for me because I feel like this run game is. Are they going to pull off another big run game this week with Swift? That's going to be the question.
Could Swift have another big game? I mean, he's having monster games. I mean, we're talking
best of his career.
What did he have? 6.8 yards a carry last week.
Yeah,
and then what did he have the week before that? Had to be
over 8. Over 8. What the Vikings game? I think he had over 8, 8.1 or 7.9, something like that.
I mean, that's every 2 carries gets a first down and then some. Yeah, Good.
Look, by the end of the year, it's really going to depend on this is a running back's dream to run behind this line. What's going to overtake Swift to be back in Philadelphia this year? Is it going to be the money, or is it going to be he's willing to take less for having a better career and a contending team for years to come? So
yeah,
so it comes down to.
I think Swift's going to have a good game, but I don't think he's going to have those kind of yards. I'm not saying he can't. I think Washington is going to be playing and so worried about that run game tomorrow that the play action is going to be wide open for us. I think you're going to see big plays downfield. I think there's going to be big plays to Smith, AJ Brown, and Goddard. And I think Washington, after giving 6 yards a carry to Buffalo, and then having seen Swift do it the last 2 weeks, I think the play action is going to be the big play for us tomorrow.
True.
I do.
True.
So we will see. So I mean, I guess that's it. We're over an hour in. You're streaming the Eagles tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Joey will be streaming the Eagles. I'm streaming the Eagles and the Cowboys tomorrow, and then we'll have a post-game show probably around about 8 or 9 Eastern, somewhere in that area. It should be a good game. Hopefully, we're 4-0.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Let's get it.
Let's get it. So thank you guys for joining us. Over 700 people still in here. Hit that like, make sure you subscribe on the way out. And tomorrow it is game time. I'm looking forward to it, man. I think 4-0 is a big deal. You get the 4-0, then you have the Rams. I think you could beat the Rams, and you have the Jets, right? If we can be 6-0 going into that Miami game, I can't ask for anything. No matter what happens that game, I'll feel pretty good, you know.
Yeah, true.
So, all right, guys. Well, with that, we're gonna let you guys go and get out of here. You guys have a great night. We will talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat, and we'll see you for the streams tomorrow. Peace.
Yeah, peace.
We had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking
You
kidding
gotta
me.
be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What you doing?
running from
What
a.
you doing?
To get off the field on 3rd down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Kellen Moore, he's got to be better, man. He wasn't.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had no time for one more
He
play.
had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us.
Way, but, you know, this is just
The brother screwed us.
You know, I'm upset, but
The brother screwed
it is what it
us.
is, man.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
Yeah, you
The
literally.
brother screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way that
We had one. We had